أكبر الله أكبر.
Bismillah. Okay, inshallah you can hear now. Inshallah you can all hear. Al-harakat, barakallahu fikum, they are ab'ad al-huruf al-maddiyah. They are ab'ad al-huruf al-maddiyah. They are parts of the letters of elongation. Al-huruf, letters. Al-maddiyah, elongation. What does this word ab'ad mean? It's the plural for ba'ad. So these are the parts of the letters of elongation. What does that mean? It means that al-fathatu, al-fatha is what? Ba'dul alif. It's some of the alif. It's a portion of the alif. Or alifun qasira. It's a small alif. And what's the kasra? Ba'dul ya. Or juz'un min al ya. It's the word juz. Like you say juz tabarak or juz amma. That part of the Quran. Juz. Juz al-alif. It's a portion of the alif. Part of the alif. Fatha, what's a fatha? Ba'dul alif. What does this word ba' mean? It means some. Right, it's a cinnamon. But cinnamon, juz means a part of something. Like how many parts of the Quran? There are 30 juz. It's not juz, it's juz'un. Juz'u amma. Not juz, I'm not called juz. We just say juz. We don't know that there's a hamza after juz'un. Juz'un. So what is the fatha? The fatha is ba'dul alif, some of the alif, a portion of the alif. Meaning it's not as long as the alif, but it is just like the alif. We want to say that the fatha, al-fatha, is what? Alifun qasiratun. Qasira means short. That's what a fatha is. It's an aleph. It's the same thing. A fatha is an aleph, except that it's small, it's short. Al-fatha is an aleph, except that it's short. What do we benefit from this? Barakallahu fikum. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala aid you all. We benefit that it's from the same makhraj, it's from the jawf. How do you articulate it? By opening up your mouth and opening up your throat. What does open up your throat? It means don't raise the back of your throat. When it's a fatha or aleph, it's the same work. What do we benefit from that? All of that. What we benefit from that, we want to look at these two words and the difference between these two words. I mean, these two letters. Look at these two letters. Iz wa dha. Pay close attention. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala aid you all. This is what I'm mentioning is extremely important. Y'all listen on, don't write. I remember I have a teacher, there was a teacher, I never studied with him, but I seen him teach, and I took his method. There's a brother named Abdul Fattah. He has a time, there's no writing. You better not be writing in his lesson. He will, woof, just listen. Because when you write, you can't listen. No way you could look. And look and we're paying attention. And then put it on your paper and think you're listening to it. Don't try it. I'm going to tell you now. Don't try it. You can't do it. Just write it all at the end. But what's most important is that you absorb it, that you take it in mentally. Take it in mentally. At the time that there's no writing, just listen. Just listen. So you all listen to this. Look at these two words here. I'll give you your time to write. Is was that. The makhraj of is, this is the front teeth here, and this is the bottom teeth. Okay, let's move this down so we get the tongue there. That's the front, two front teeth. That's the top, that's the bottom. The makhraj of the dal is the tip of the tongue with the tip of the teeth. The tongue has to come outside a little bit. It has to. So you have to say zalika. You can't say zalika. If you say zalika, what's the problem? He's near the makhraj, but he didn't put his tongue outside. It's still inside. Zalika. No. You have to bring it outside a little bit. Tight. We want to understand this. Understand this, barakallahu fikum. When I say the makhraj of the dal is the tip of the tongue and the tip of the front teeth, that's when it has a sukoon. Is. Now, this word that, what's the makhraj of the that? How am I going to recite this word that? This has two makhrajas in it. Had the makhraj of this that and the makhraj of the fatha has more than that. I can't say, if we wanted this word to be dhalika, I can't say dhalika. If I say dhalika, that's the dal. Because we agreed that it's the tip of the tongue and what? The tip of the teeth. That's where I'm at. Dhalika, the. Wallahi, I'm on the dal. And that's all you told me to do. No, Abdul-Hakim. This is a dal and a fatha. For a letter that has a fatha or a kasra or a dhamma, it has two makhraj. And we're going to know for sure that the fatha has a makhraj, because there's a difference between the, wa, the, and dhu. All of them are there. All of them is the dal. But it's a world of a difference. So when the word has a fatha, kasra, and dhamma, you have to do extra work. But the way that we read the Quran, we just look at the letters. We don't care anything about the fatha, kasra, and dhamma. With us, the fatha and kasra and dhamma doesn't have a makhraj. And you go ask anybody, what's the makhraj of the kha? They're going to say, oh, that's in the throat. What's the makhraj of the dal? Oh, that's on the tongue. What's the makhraj of the ba? Oh, that's on the lips. Does the fatha and kasra and dhamma have the makhraj? He's going to say no. He's going to say no. He doesn't see that there's something that he has to actually do, that there's some work. There's an action that he has to intentionally do in order to articulate what has to be articulated. Isa, are you with me? Do you understand what I'm saying? Nuh-uh. So when you say dhalika, you have to open up your mouth and your thought. You have to. There is no other way. There's no other way. So you have to understand that a letter, if it's mutaharrik, mean the letter, if it's mutaharrik, mean it has a fatha or a kasra or a dhamma, then it has two makhraj. If it's a sakin, if it's sukoon, then it has one makhraj. So when we say the makhraj of the ta is the tip of the tongue, and that's if it's sakin. That's if it has a sukoon. When I say the makhraj of this is that, and the makhraj of that, that's what regarding if it's a sukoon on it. Right? So this topic is of great importance, that we study the letters of elongation, then we study the haraka. After that, barakallahu fikum, what did we take? We took the ya. How is the ya pronounced? By raising up the middle of the tongue and lowering the tip of the tongue. And we know that just by raising up the middle of the tongue by itself is not sufficient, but you have to lower the tip of the tongue as well for it to be a complete ya. So we want Ar-Rahim, and we don't want Ar-Rahim. No, we do a he, not her. It's not a ya, akhi. That's not a ya. Nah. And the same with the kasra, we want ihdina, and we don't want ihdina, You didn't say ah, you said eh. So what changed the sound from ah to eh? Just the raising of the middle of the tongue by itself. And that is not sufficient in articulating the kasra. You have to raise up the middle of the tongue as well as lowering the tip of the tongue. As well as lowering the tip of the tongue. The people might have to put their mics on mute. So yeah. So we studied that. Hakim, Naam, Wa'inaban, Wa'inaban. Listen, Wa'inaban, 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 Wafakihatin, Wafakihatan, Wafakihatan, Fakih, K. There's no K. Wafaki, la Wafaki, Wafaki. This is called Al-Haraka al-Mazluma. This is the vowel mark that's oppressed. The people, the reeds don't give her due rights. So they say warasule. They don't say warasuli. For example, they say sirat al-ladina. They don't say sirat al-ladina. Sirat. They say sira se. Where does this word say come from? That's from only raising the middle of your tongue. And that is not sufficient in pronouncing the kasra. But the kasra needs the raising of the middle of the tongue as well as lowering the tip of the tongue. And between the two is going to be firm. Between the middle of the tongue, that's raised up, and between the lower of the tongue, the lower of the tip of the tongue, it's going to be firm there. See, the tongue is firm. As opposed to the fatha, the tongue is just laying in your mouth dead. As opposed to the aleph and the fatha, the tongue is just laying in your mouth dead. This is the aleph and the fatha laying in your mouth dead. As far as the kasra, from here to here, it's firm. C, G, T. So when you want to pronounce the kasra, you have to do it with some type of intentions, with some type of vigorousness, some type of strength, some type of strength. Because from here to here, it's going to be firm. C, G. You're not going to say yay, Hakim, Rahim, Rahi, he, he. No, you want it firm. That's what we studied after that. Today, we're on a new letter. It's called the Waw. This is going to come from the lips. You're going to take your lips and you're going to put them forward. Those are your lips. You're going to move them forward as much as you can possibly move them forward. In the form of a kiss. In the form of a kiss. Move them forward as much as you can possibly move them forward. So you all are after me. We're going to write some words on the board. And you all are after me. Brothers in Islam, today you all are studying. Tomorrow you all are teaching. We didn't have, when we were studying in the match test examination, the teacher comes in every couple of days and reviews the whole thing. He asks this, he asks that person, but sometimes he reviews the students. We took this is on 3 categories. This means that one has 2 categories. This and that. And it comes to the same the next day. This has 3 categories. That has 2 categories. Next day, this has 3 categories. That has 2 categories. So when you teach, you have to do this. You cannot have a sergeant in charge of these new guys who just came to boot camp, and the general's looking at him. He's like, "This guy's a lazy. They ain't got. I mean, they're lazy. You got to get them out. That's your job. That's your job." After they have 3 months of boot camp, he has a time limit. It's not on. It's on that sergeant and on that officer to get them up and get them in shape. It's not just that they have to wake up. It's not just that they have to be on time. They have to be in shape and be able to carry out what a soldier has to carry out. And this one is coming from this land, this comes from that one, this and eating, this one sleeps at this time, this one was drinking before he got there, this one's over here. Everybody's coming from different backgrounds. Listen, he got to get the job done. Nuh-uh. And that's the same. More than that, ad-da'i ilallah. More than that, call it to Islam. So he has to communicate with them. He has to review 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 them. They have to be at the end of the class. They have to know how you do the fatah, how you do the qasr, what's between the what's with the Muslim, what do you have to look out for, what do you have to do. Okay, now recite. That's his job. His job is not I just got to finish this book, understand or not understand. No. And his job is not I just got to run them through until we finish the 3 months. Whether they be uniform, they have to when they march, they have to be in uniform. They have to shine their shoes. The uniform has to be pressed. They got to be when they do it. Then when they march, it has to be together. It has to be. There's no other way. More than that is our Arabic classes and our classes in Islam. You have to understand the Salah. What do you say? How do you say the Tahiyyah? What do you say? What's the ikhtilaf between that and that? What is the other dua? What is that? And he's reviewing it and reviewing. He's not just going through the book. So you take pride in your students. Nah. More than the sergeant would take pride in the soldiers that's under him. More than that. But their nice uniforms on and their shiny boots. Now, more pride. Now, okay, let's read these words. This is by moving the lips. These are the lips. And the surah, pictures are not permissible, but the picture is the head. So stay away from drawing the head, or even 2 parts of the body of the head, like the eyes and the nose. Try to avoid doing that. The lips have to come all the way forward. All the way forward. You all are after me. All the way forward. Boo. Okay, listen, I'm going to do it incorrectly, and then you're going to hear when I completely move them forward. I don't want you looking. Boo. You hear it. Now, the first, at the beginning, I didn't move my lips forward. I'm just like, boo, boo, Muslimun. This is moon. Not Muslimun. Moon. Muslimun. You have to put your lips totally forward. The most you possibly can. I tell my students when he's reading, I say, listen, put your lips on the wall, right there, right there, right there on the wall. Put your lips right there. Put your lips on the end of the wall. Ooh, two. So this word, that's the wow. This word here, dhamma, it means to gather. You have to gather your lips together and leave a little hole between them. Gather them together, push them together into the front. Ooh, you all up after me. Boo. Two. Su. طيب. طيب. We don't need this aleph here. It's no problem. You all after me. You. You. Ju. When tasting the letters, don't make it short. Don't go ju. You. Make it long so you can taste it well. And be familiar with the way your mouth is. Listen, all you have in Tajweed is feelings. Understand? You only thing you can depend on is the form and the shape of your mouth to know if you're correct. You can't depend on sound. The ear is going to tell you, man, you on point. Your ear is going to go, oh man, you sound so good. That's what your ears are going to tell you. So you can't judge by your ear. And you can't see your mouth. You can't judge by your eye. All you have is feelings. Like when somebody's dribbling the basketball, he doesn't have to look at the basketball. He just goes by the feeling of the ball in his hand. Same thing with the soccer ball. He doesn't have to look. It's by feeling. But this is by the feeling. So when you want to elongate it, you want to elongate it long so you could get used and familiar with the feeling. That's all you have in Tajweed. So you're gonna start. You're going to do exercises on the fatha until you know the fatha well. Then you go exercise on the kasra and yeah until you know it well, and you know when you are articulating it correctly. And then you start with the dhamma. Then you get them all together. You all after me. Ju. Ju. Move your lips forward on the most extensive manner possible. Shoo. Shoo. Do. Okay, you all follow me on the rest. Thu, thu, thu. When you say thu, thu, I want you to move your lips forward, then move it back. Move it forward, then move it back, then move it forward long. Thu, thu, thu. This is an exercise so you can feel what is it upon you to do. When it's a dhamma like that, well, I want you to move your lips forward, then move it back to its natural position. Thu. Move it back to its natural position. Thu, thu, thu. Zu, zu, zu. Cool, cool, cool. Moo, moo, moo. Well, this word, this here, moo, moo, this is what is required when you say Muhammad. But the mother says, Ashhadu anna Muhammad, says more, more. Ashhadu anna Muhammad, more. It doesn't say, Ashhadu anna Muhammada, Muhammad. When you say mu, you say, oh, that guy studied. That's a sign that somebody studied. Because you hear his fatha and his kasra and his dhamma is complete. I want to write this last thing for you all, and we're going to stop here. This is what we're doing here. And this thing, when we're studying the letters of elongation, this topic is called Itmam al-Harakat, completing the harakat. This is what the reader's first deficiency is, in that he doesn't complete the harakah. So he says dhalika, he doesn't say dhalika. He says Hakim, he doesn't say Hakim. And he says Muhammad, he doesn't say Muhammad. So before we can correct his meme and his kha and his saw and his ra, before we can look at these individual huruf, these individual letters, we have to get these harakat together. We have to get the jawf, the empty space in the mouth, together. Once he has this together, then we look at his kha and his saw and his law and his do. Yeah, Malik, are you with me? So his e, u, if that's correct, then we can say, we see what we have here. Then we can start working with it. But he's reading like this. He's not opening up in his mouth and saying, hold on, stop. There's nothing I can do with you. You have to open up your mouth before we can look at the ha. I mean, we can look at the lamb. Now, this space in the mouth is called al-jawf, and it is thalatha huruf and 3 harakat. This chapter here, what we're doing is itmam al-harakat. Itmam means to complete. Al-yawm akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mah. I completed for you my ni'mah. Itmam means completing the harakat, meaning open your mouth well, lowering the tip of your tongue and raising up the middle of your tongue well, and moving your lips up, your lips up to the front well and complete. Once you get used to this and you don't need any tanbih from the teacher, any correction from the teacher, that's a good start. This is the foundation of recitation. If you have that, that's a good start. So now when you read Quran, rather when you listen to Quran, I want you to listen to what? The fatha and the kasra and the dam, the alif, the waw, the ya. Because you studied that. And you know how it's supposed to sound. So now when you listen to that, you try to imitate it like you heard Husari rahimahullah read it, or Abdul Basit read it, or Al-Minshawi read it. This is our lesson for today. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك